For many Ukrainian Orthodox Christians, Christmas came early this year. Traditionally, they observe the holiday in January, like many Russians. But as the war rages on, moving the date is another way of standing apart from their aggressor. President Zelensky sent Christmas greetings to those who celebrate, but warned that the holiday won't mean an end to Russian attacks. Moscow, he said, is trying to compensate for its losses by shelling Ukraine and its energy infrastructure. The darkness, he said, won't prevent Ukraine's troops from further victories, but citizens have to be ready for any scenario. Russian President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, told state-owned broadcaster RTR that he's ready to start peace talks. I believe we're acting in the right direction. We're defending our national interests, the interests of our citizens, our people. However, we are prepared to negotiate some acceptable outcomes with the participants of this process. But it's their business. It's not us who refuse talks. It's them. Russia's defense ministry on Sunday released footage which it claimed shows a military priest serving on the front lines, conducting services even as Russian forces continue their strikes on Ukraine.
A glimpse at the harrowing moments before a gunman was stopped in the center of Paris. A group of men in the back of a barbershop overpowered the man after he killed 3 people outside a Kurdish cultural center next door. His motive, the 69-year-old pensioner told police, was to murder migrants because of a, quote, pathological hatred of foreigners. The attack had ripple effects around the world, and in northern Syria, hundreds of members of its Kurdish community staged a protest, accusing Turkey of plotting to kill Kurdish migrants in the diaspora.
It's a war against our people. They are not only targeting us in the 4 regions of Kurdistan, but also in Europe. They want our people to perish.
We, the Kurdish people, demand that the French government bring the perpetrator to justice.
Kurdish demonstrators also clashed with French police on the streets of Paris on Saturday. The country's president, Emmanuel Macron, said the shooting was an odious attack against Kurds, and he called on the city's police chief to meet with community leaders.
Dozens of people have died in the U.S. as an extreme winter storm continues to batter parts of the country, with a blizzard causing dangerous travel conditions. The storm unleashed its full fury on Buffalo in the state of New York, with hurricane-force winds causing whiteout conditions. More than 300,000 homes and businesses found themselves without power on Christmas Eve. Thousands of flights have been canceled during the festive period. The storm is nearly unprecedented in its scope, stretching from Canada to the Texas border. About 60% of the U.S. population faces some sort of winter weather advisory or warning.
Relief in Austria after authorities announced that they found the last 2 missing skiers feared trapped by a major avalanche. 10 people were on a ski slope in the western Lech Zürs resort when it was hit by a devastating snowslide. A huge rescue effort of at least 200 people, 7 helicopters, and Avalanche dogs were then deployed. They were able to find 4 injured people. The other 6 were later found after they managed to get to the valley below the mountain on their own. The avalanche swept through the resort in the Austrian Alps at around 3 p.m. local time. Authorities have ranked the avalanche danger as high all over the Alps, as recent snowfall was then followed by spring-like temperatures over the Christmas weekend. While the police have said that they are no longer looking for more people, the rescue effort will continue on Monday to make sure that no one was overlooked. At least 6 people have died after a bus plunged into a river in northwestern Spain over the weekend. Another 2 people, including the bus driver, were eventually rescued and taken to the hospital. The rescue effort was forced to temporarily stop overnight because of bad weather and heavy rain, and then resumed the following day with the help of mountain rescue units and a helicopter. Officials believe there were either 8 or 9 passengers on board at the time of the crash, and its cause is still unknown.
Today, the World Cup in Qatar is approved.
The European Parliament's former Vice President Eva Kaili is spending Christmas in jail, with authorities announcing she will be held there for at least another month, after her alleged involvement in one of the EU's biggest corruption scandals in history.
Mrs. Kylie is alone in a prison cell. Unfortunately, her 22-month-old child is alone as well. It's Christmas and there's no one. Eva Kylie feels that she's experiencing a disaster. Please respect that.
Kylie is also accused of money laundering and being a member of a criminal organisation. Her lawyer added that she is cooperating fully with the authorities, but this wasn't enough to prevent MEPs stripping Kylie of her vice presidency role.
It used to be lit up from as early as October, but this year Belgrade got its illuminations in mid-December. They'll be on for just a month, and that only in the city centre. Nevertheless, the high street is in a festive mood as people go about their shopping. Despite the world's crises, not many are thinking about saving.
I'm buying. I have to buy as much as possible.
We saved all month so we can buy presents for the new year, for the children, for everyone else.
I'm a student. I need to save.
You should always save, but I don't think people are going to go short.
Prices have risen more than ever in recent months. The spending power of the population isn't great, and economists advise that it isn't the time to take out a loan or buy into property.
We should cut back and take good care of what we're buying. Firstly, we are overweight as a nation, and it wouldn't harm us to eat less. Secondly, this isn't the time to spend. A smart man, they say, saves money when he has it, but that is not the case with the Serbs.
Regardless of how much money they have, Serbs traditionally go out on New Year's Eve, spending anything from 30 to 400 euros. Live music is a must in all restaurants, and trumpeters come around at midnight.
We're almost completely sold out. Our guests are from all over the world. It's proof you don't have to speak every language. Here, everyone gets along great with our music, good service, and of course, good food.
For those who don't have the money to go out to restaurants, the city of Belgrade is going to provide an outdoor party on 2 stages with 9 famous singers and DJs performing. And for the children, there's an outdoor skating rink to enjoy.
It is not unusual for Serbs to celebrate when things are difficult. On the streets and squares with music, people celebrated here even during the biggest crises, during the sanctions in the 90s, but also when the bombs fell.
Euronews, Belgrade.